We're going to take a quick look at how to scale parts, whether to make them bigger or smaller, or just to get them to the units that you would like. We'll add this file to netfab, and then we'll take a quick spin. So currently, the dimensions are listed here in netfab if you take a look. The important things to remember when scaling are, if you're scaling it to make it bigger, to make sure that it still fits within the build bed, which you can find on our website. Build bed, usually you could say around 200 millimeter box, about average. Some will be bigger, some will be smaller in certain places, but that's a good baseline. Now if you're looking to scale it smaller, the key is to make sure that the wall thickness doesn't get too thin. So on average, you don't want the walls to get thinner than 1 millimeter. Now this will depend a little bit on the material and then the support and the design, but those are kind of good basic overarching guidelines. So to do a scale, all we need to do is select the part, go to the part right here, and hit scale. So you can scale by a factor, or you can scale it to change the dimensions. Sometimes we find this is useful because in service modeling, the units aren't necessarily fixed to a certain dimension. So you might be designing in millimeters when in fact you want inches, or you might be designing arbitrary units. So this is kind of a good way to set your units. Some things that you can do is you can scale by 10, and if you fix the scaling ratio, then it'll scale everything the same way. And then also if you want, you can, instead of doing that, you can make everything a little bit smaller. So let's make this Z as small as we can. Let's make this 10 millimeters. So in the scale, and we can see it's a little bit smaller. And now since we're scaling down, the important part is to look at wall thicknesses. We'll do a quick measure. Take a look at this wall thickness right here. And right now, this wall thickness is 0.88 millimeters. In general, we want to be above 1 millimeter. It's our recommended minimum wall thickness, and that's important because if it's not 3D printable, sometimes if you're looking for the next stages, it's not going to be producible by other means like machining or injection molding, RTV molding. So it's something to keep in mind for scaling. Two things: when making it smaller, check wall thickness, and then when making it larger, check to make sure it fits within the bounding box of the build bed for the 3D printer.